Hello, friends, and welcome to Brainworms, the podcast that invites you into a crumbling antebellum mansion, plies you with bottle after bottle of wine, and when it starts to get dark says, "Oh no, you can't go home now. You must stay the night." I'm Joe.
I'm Disturbed. And David.
I'm Kane.
And I'm Chris.
And the holiday hijinks continue.
Fucking bullshit.
I love how mad you get.
I mean, I wasn't mad about the last holiday hijink. It was just different.
I actually was less disturbed by the last one because of the mockery I felt it was making of Christmas cheer.
Sure. Well, I mean, if you felt that way about the last one, then you're gonna ride that train hard.
Oh, talking about train.
Yeah, we are. As we read, what's this book called?
Idiot.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Butt Raptor.
Wait,
by
what?
author
What?
Chuck Tingle.
Oh, Mr. Tingle.
2-time Hugo Award winner, American hero, prover of love.
Wait,
did he write his own bio?
Chuck Tingle.
That was just me saying things from my mind. That
Chuck
wasn't
Tingle.
Wow.
his written biography.
Big fan of Chuck Tingle?
Wait,
Yeah,
who
Chuck
is that?
Tingle's great.
Yeah, good.
I've heard that name. Who is that?
Chuck Tingle.
You're about to find out who that is.
Yep.
He's the author of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Butt Raptor.
I misspoke. He's not a 2-time Hugo Award winner. He's a 2-time Hugo Award nominee.
Well, how can I trust you on any of the rest of that now?
I mean, I talk a lot of shit. You probably shouldn't trust most of the things I say.
Okay,
Fair.
but wait, hang on. No, like I know this guy from something. I've
He's probably somebody you've hung out with on Second Life, you fucking weirdo.
That's not accurate.
Oh my god. Joe, I am disappointed in you.
Why?
He wrote Unicorn Butt Cops, and we're not reading
He did
that?
write Unicorn Butt Cops. He also wrote Erotic Unicorn Bikers.
I'm disappointed in you.
None of those are Christmas themed. They're
don't-
not
Hey, Chris,
related to...
what if I told you could read things outside of the scope
yeah,
of this
you
podcast?
can just read on your own time.
I actually hate the process of taking in information via words.
Well,
Yeah, like I'm
written
reading the Dark Tower series now.
That's all of language.
I said written words. I corrected myself.
Oh, I see. I mean, you can get audiobooks of Chuck Tingle stuff if that's what you prefer.
It is what I prefer. I don't know if I'm going to spend money on Unicorn Butt Cops, but...
You should.
Chuck would appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to call you up and read them to you.
No.
Is this an actual velociraptor? Or is it like a bald eagle or something that's really into butts?
It's an actual erotic dinosaur.
Oh, well, that's with a red nose. We
I-
assume.
yeah.
I'm less angry
Uh-huh.
and just now a little concerned.
You know, the real tragedy about just reading the first chapter of Santa Steps Out is we never even got to the Easter Bunny.
Do we want to come back to Santa Steps
No.
Out next week, David?
I want to come back to Chuck Tingle.
Yeah, we absolutely will.
I'll leave that up to you all to decide.
Whatever. Let's just do it. That way Joe doesn't spring some shit-ass Christmas book on me.
I've sent you the link so that you can all appreciate the cover art, which will be in the thumbnail so the listeners can see it too. Just so that you can know what we're getting into.
Well.
Oh, I'm so into this.
I just wish I,
A Hugo Award finalist, Joe.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
just a nominee. He
Yeah,
made
he
it
was
to
a
the
finalist.
finals.
That's
Show some
important, yeah.
fucking respect.
I'm sorry. I apologize to Dr. Chuck Tingle for misrepresenting his Hugo Award status.
Put
Is
some
he a
respect
doctor?
on his name.
It's an unofficial doctorate.
He's a Taekwondo grandmaster.
He is.
Almost a black belt.
God, I have been extremely exposed to Chuck Tingle before, and I just don't remember where, when, or what the context
I mean,
was.
he's kind of a meme.
Yeah. Like, he's around the internet. He's extremely online.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't we reading Upset Trump Supporter Founded in the Butt by...
Because that's not thematic to the glorious season of the winter holidays, Kane.
I want to get this book title all the way out.
Yeah, do it.
Upset Trump supporter pounded in the butt by his search for meaning now that his bigoted cult leader has been voted out.
That does sound pretty amazing. Let's put a pin in that. We'll come back to it in the new year.
Real quick,
That does sound pretty good.
I do want to express this thought. Of all the internet trolling everything, I do believe that Chuck Tingle is like the apex.
Yes and no, in that there is no irony to what Chuck Tingle is doing. The character that he has constructed and the things that he writes about based on the social media presence of Chuck Tingle is completely sincere. You know, trolling implies some level of irony or snark or sarcasm.
I have never been this stopped in my tracks before. Because I thought that this was like a whole kit and caboodle. This was like a character he was doing.
There is an element of a character that is Dr. Chuck Tingle, but it's not sarcastic, if that makes sense.
It's not sort of Stephen Colbert.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
His Twitter bio is fucking amazing.
Follow Chuck Tingle on all social media.
Yeah, world's greatest author, PhD from DeVry University in holistic massage, inventor of the Tingler.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know a lot about Chuck Tingle other than I see his name come up a lot of times. But it seems to me that he's more in the line of like John Waters.
Yeah.
Where it's, he's kind of writing these things that are designed to be provocative and just trashy. And he knows that's what they are.
Mm-hmm.
But
just the cover art really, explains that pretty clearly.
Yeah, and it's just still, though, completely sincere.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think when I said apex of trolling, I did not mean that like the sincerity is what I think makes him the apex of it.
Sure.
When you get into some of these trolling characters, some of the trolls will get so wrapped up in the facade that like they're just completely hollow and they have no like internal what they actually want out of life or their own personal desires.
Yeah, their persona takes over their person.
Right.
Which is why I think that Chuck is the apex. Like, he is himself, and he's also, like, and this is all just part of him, and he's just having a great time, and that's why I guess
he's not trolling, he's just fucking weird.
Yeah, he's just an eccentric.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, I got nothing but love for Chuck Tingle.
Yeah, follow Chuck Tingle on social media. It's a trip. He's amazing.
I'm going to tweet at him from Brainworms.
Yeah, do. Please do. Absolutely.
Oh my god, if he responds, that would be so fucking cool.
He might. Oh, that would make me so happy.
Donald Trump pounded in the butt by the handsome Russian T-Rex who also peed on his butt and then blackmailed him with the videos of his butt getting peed on. That is the title of a novel that he wrote.
If this podcast goes absolutely nowhere, like if we never get any listeners ever, but if we can get Chuck Tingle to respond to us, like everything will be worth it.
Oh, that would make me happy.
Living inside my own butt for 8 years, starting a business and turning a profit through common sense reinvestment and strategic targeted marketing.
Well, we know that Kane has definitely jumped on board.
Bigfoot pirates haunt my balls. And then this one's really appropriate. Not pounded by anything while I practice responsible social distancing.
Chuck Tingle, author of Bisexual Mothman Mailman, makes a special delivery in our butts.
Yeah, David, why don't you just go ahead and wait,
I have to do the promo.
Well, just fucking do it.
I'm gonna do it, Dad. Don't forget, if you enjoy this, go to WeGiveYouBrainworms.com. You can support us on Patreon, give us some money. Also, go to your bookseller of choice and buy a Chuck Tingle ebook because they're all amazing. And they're like between $3 and $5.
And we have a Discord community.
Oh yeah, we do have a Discord server now.
Hey, cool. I just learning about that now. Hey.
I tried to invite you, David, but we're not friends on Discord because you're a dick.
Oh, it's actually because I don't ever use Discord. So, but I digress.
You can video conference through Discord. But regardless, we have a Discord community. There's usually someone hanging out in it.
Mm-hmm.
That someone is generally Joe or me.
Yeah.
But we're in that Discord. So if you happen to join our Discord and want to shoot the shit with one of us idiots, it's on the table.
Yep. Real quick, one more Chuck Tingle book title because that's just the fun
It makes me
that
so
we're having
happy.
today. Mike Pence pounded in the butt by his handsome werefly.
That's, I think, yeah, I saw that one on Facebook. You see the titles from time to time just float by, and I've never taken the time to actually read one of his things before, but man, am I kind of jazzed for this.
Yeah, this should be pretty fun. There's a Bitcoin in my butt, and he is handsome.
God, like the non sequitur humor, I really like that.
Yeah.
Well then, shall we?
Yeah, take us in.
Rudolph, the Red-Nosed Butt Rat by Chuck Tingle. After learning I wasn't going home for Christmas this year, I knew the holidays were going to be difficult. This is the first time in my life that I haven't been able to celebrate with my family.
Families are lame.
It's true.
Spending the evening buried under mountains of paperwork from the firm. Normally, we all get enough time to fly home for the weekend, but this year, an unexpected caseload has forced everyone to cancel their travel plans. Caseload of coronavirus. Of course, even if I didn't have to spend most of my time in the office, I'd probably still be trapped here in Chicago. The weather's started bad and has only gotten worse.
Holy shit, David, stop. David, stop. David, whoa. David. There's a Chuck Tingle role-playing game.
Oh my fucking god.
Yup.
Well, I know what new addition we're making to our Brainworms thingy.
I think we're also going to be setting up a listener fucking tabletop game. I mean, Patreon only.
Right.
We're fucking locking that behind a paywall.
Oh, yeah.
If there isn't a class for being a unicorn, I'm going to be sad.
I'll look into that for you.
Yeah, that's great. That's happy knowledge right there. I really do believe in the spirit of Christmas.
I'm sorry for interrupting you like that, but
That was
holy
important.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's okay. Of course, even if I didn't have to spend most of my time in the office, I'd probably still be trapped here in Chicago. The weather started bad and has only gotten worse, prompting widespread cancellation at the airport as folks buckle down and hope for the best. I've been checking the news regularly for updates about the rapidly escalating snowfall, trying to figure out if all planes are grounded or just commercial airlines. Even though I'm not flying home myself, I'd be completely destroyed if I couldn't send a gift to my mother and father on this important day. For my mom, I got a new set of tools she's been eyeing, and for my dad, I bought a brand new vegan cookbook. Unfortunately, if I don't hurry up, neither of them will get their gift in time. I could never forgive myself.
It's just poor planning.
It is, yeah, really. You know things are going to happen. It's Christmas time. Like, plan ahead, people.
You can be a unicorn in the Chuck Tingle RPG, though.
You can?
You can, yes.
That's fantastic.
Yup.
Rushing down the city street with my jacket wrapped tightly around me, I stomp confidently through the snow, defying nature itself. Nothing's going to keep this package from hitting the road on time, and although my car can't make it out of my garage, I can still get to the post office on foot. Around me, a slim handful of other Chicagoans have chosen to head out in the storm, taking care of their holiday business if it's the last thing they do.
Taking care of business.
Buses are still running, fortunately, but if the snow keeps coming down like this, I can't imagine they'll stay active much longer. I clutch the presents even tighter against my body, pressing onward as the cold wind whips against the only exposed portion of my face. My heart is slamming hard within my chest, partially from this grueling physical test, but mostly due to the mounting fear that I won't be able to get these packages to their Los Angeles destination.
Packages.
Okay. Packages.
Christmas has always meant a lot to my family and me, and being away from them over the holidays was already a difficult pill for my parents to swallow.
Family and I.
No gift, regardless of what it actually is, would be too much for them to bear. Of course, they'd act like everything was okay, and nothing would really come of it. Deep down, I'd know they were disappointed. I round the final corner of this massive building and my breath suddenly catches in my throat. There before me is the post office, covered in snow and ice, but still seemingly active on this blustery day. I begin to sprint across the street towards the building, mustering up all the strength I have to push myself onward.
So it's really just a book about poor time management.
It's only then that I see a sign on the door flipping around, going from open to closed as the last mail truck of the day pulls away and barrels up the street, pushing the snowdrifts away from its broad frame as it goes. "No!" I cry out, waving my arms. "Wait!" A postal worker within the building sees me running toward him, but doesn't hesitate as he turns around and begins to stroll away from the glass door, ready to head home for the night. "Wait!" I try again. "It's Christmas!" Suddenly, the man stops. He turns back around and meets me at the door, only cracking it open the slightest bit to keep the cold air from getting in. "The last truck just left. There's nothing I can do," the mail worker informs me. "I'm sorry." "I need to get this package to my family in Los Angeles by tomorrow," I cry out. The mail worker just stares at me blankly, shaking his head. "Buddy, even if you got here in time, that package wouldn't get where it's headed for another week. The snow's got all planes grounded, even commercial now. We're trucking things out of the storm and then sending them up, but there's still crazy delays. This is our busiest time of the year already, with or without the weather."
Has anyone really been, upset by receiving a gift, like a Christmas gift late?
You can't imagine why you would be unless you're kind of a shitty person.
I try not to receive Christmas gifts, because fuck Christmas.
Yeah, you prefer to get second Halloween gifts.
It's true.
Halloween 2, Spooky Boogaloo. "Isn't there anything you can do?" I beg.
No, you already said that.
Yeah, made it pretty clear.
"I'm not made of magic," the mail worker informs me solemnly. "I'm sorry." I let out a long sigh and then turn around slowly, overwhelmed with feelings of defeat as I begin my long trudge back home through the snow. "Wait!" the man suddenly calls out from behind me. He motions me toward him, lowering his voice despite the fact that there's no one around to hear him. "Listen, I'm not supposed to tell you this, because he's our direct competition, but there is someone who could get your package to the West Coast by tomorrow. It'll cost you, though. Whatever it takes," I inform him.
Boom, 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 doo, doo.
"The money isn't important. I just want my parents to get their gifts for Christmas."
Oh, it's not money.
"Go to Suite 69 in the Rudolph building on Candy Cane Avenue. That's the top floor," the postal worker instructs.
That's not a real street.
I narrow my eyes. I don't get it. Is this some kind of joke? Kane, is that a real street? You were in Chicago.
What's the street again?
Candy Cane Avenue?
No.
In the Rudolph building?
Oh, yeah. The Rudolph building. Yeah. I always forget about that one.
Oh, yeah. Suite 69 there. That's where we're headed, yeah.
Candy Cane Street. Give it a lick. Get a staph infection.
Gift that keeps on giving.
I narrow my eyes. I don't get it. Is this some kind of joke? The mail worker shakes his head. Not at all. There's someone there who can get your package anywhere in the world within a few hours. Who should I ask for? I question. The legend himself, Rudolph, the helpful mailman continues, finally closing the door and returning to the depths of his post office once more. I turn and pull out my phone, doing a search for Candy Cane Avenue, but quickly discovering that the storm has caused me to lose all cell service. Fortunately, I vaguely remember seeing a street with that name just west of here. The only question now is how far?
How far is too far?
All the way to Candy Cane Avenue, baby.
I want to rock down to Candy Cane Avenue.
I wonder if Mr. Candy Cane is there.
Nah, that motherfucker's dead.
The snow only begins to come down harder as I trudge onward, these vast white blankets rising higher and higher around me as I make my way. By now, the fellow pedestrians I'd noticed earlier have all disappeared, hunkering down somewhere warm for the next long while. At this point, I actually start to worry, realizing that the storm has made it quite difficult to navigate through the very streets of my once familiar city. If I get lost out here, I could freeze. The hanging Christmas lights that line these massive buildings around me were donned with good intentions and holiday cheer, but now they've made things even more strange and disorienting. I can barely see through the blizzard, squinting up at the towering structures as I try my best to read the addresses before me. Suddenly, my heart skips a beat as I make out the symbol of a massive red R. I rush toward the building and in one final effort, I push into the lobby, instantly hit by a wave of warmth. Almost immediately, the world around me changes to one of calm, holiday relaxation. jazzy Christmas music twinkling through the speakers above as well-dressed city dwellers bustle about in this enormous lobby. Nobody here seems at all concerned by the storm around them, just going about their business as usual. I approach the front desk where a woman sits patient and smiling. If I didn't know any better, I'd say she was dressed as an elf. "How can I help you, sir?" the woman asks. "I need to speak to Rudolph," I inform her, setting my packages on the desk between us. "It's an emergency." The woman looks at me with an apologetic face, clearly not wanting to give me the bad news. "I'm sorry," she says. "Rudolph is very, very busy this time of year. He doesn't have time for any meetings." I take a deep breath and let it out slowly, suddenly realizing that all this hardship could be for nothing. I'm trying not to get emotional, but I can't help myself. "But it's Christmas," I finally
If we've
say.
learned anything from this book, it's just don't wait until the last minute to do things.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Like voting.
Yeah.
That's why I have a bomb shelter beneath the house, you know? Prime prep for doomsday. You all laughed at me.
Chris, that doesn't count as a bomb shelter. Digging a 3-foot hole and then putting like an old door frame over top of it doesn't protect you from bombs.
No.
Hey, that door frame is an antique, and it has
There's
a really
no
old
door
lock.
in it.
No one knows how to pick that lock, Kane. It's
Because
secure.
there's no door in it. It's just a door
Look,
frame.
Kane,
Chris.
it's...
Is that a bomb shelter or just a hole that you
Kane,
like to crawl into?
Shut up,
when you're
Joe.
sad?
Kane, it's not your
is
fault
there
that
a
you don't
difference?
understand how locks work.
Fair
You're not a
point.
locksmith, so, I'm
It's
not going to
true.
blame you.
I'm not a locksmith.
You can probably just pick it with a paperclip if you have a high enough skill.
all I'm saying is the only real appropriate bomb shelter is an old refrigerator. It will save you in the event of being exploded in a nuclear explosion. I saw it in a documentary film about a crystal skull.
I remember when I went to go see that movie in theaters.
Yeah, me too.
I bet that was a really good use of your time.
My expectation going in was like, oh, it'll just be like a fun action movie. And it wasn't even that. It wasn't even that.
They're doing one more of those.
That's what I hear. I don't know why.
It's apparently going to be the very last Indiana Jones movie.
Is George Lucas involved?
I think Spielberg's involved. I don't know about George Lucas. Probably because there's only so much Harrison Ford left
Right.
at this point.
And they kind of tried and failed to replace him with Shia LaBeouf.
Actual cannibal.
Shia LaBeouf.
They should get the kid from Solo to play Indiana Jones. He was good.
Yeah, that'd be... It'd be weird to be an actor and have your career basically be defined by portraying the career-defining roles of a completely different actor.
That's a fair point.
Welcome to art as governed by corporations.
Well, yeah.
I did like that actor, though.
Me too. I enjoyed
Me
that
too.
movie.
I
thought
liked
it was
that
pretty
movie a
fun.
lot.
Yeah, same. Yep.
The woman behind the counter smiles, as if relieved that she can help me now, then reaches over and pulls a large lever next to her. There's a label printed clearly below it that reads, "But it's Christmas." Suddenly, there's a loud ding as a bright red and green elevator opens up, far away from the normal elevator bay. The woman behind the counter nods at me, then waves toward the lift. "Rudolph will see you now. This goes straight to his office." That's fantastic. All you have to do is just say, "But it's Christmas."
Christmas.
Yeah.
I thank the woman, then hurry over to my elevator, stepping inside. There are no buttons, but the door closes almost immediately, rocketing upwards at such an incredible pace that it almost knocks me off my feet.
Rocketing.
I grab... Red rocket.
That's canines,
I'm gonna
not
go.
servines.
I grab the railing and settle in, feeling a lurch in my stomach as the elevator swiftly arrives at the top floor penthouse. The large metallic doors slide open, revealing an absolutely beautiful modern office.
Why does it smell like a lube in here?
The ceilings are high, and to the right of me is a roaring fireplace with a stocking hung above it.
Was that a comment on the book, or were you just thinking out loud, Chris?
Sorry, what?
The distant wall is completely made of floor-to-ceiling glass, outside of which the snow continues to drift down in an endless white cascade. There's a large oak desk at the other end of the room, where a handsome velociraptor sits. He's shirtless and beautifully sculpted. But the two most notable things about this dinosaur are the massive antlers upon his head and the way that his reptilian snout glows with a brilliant red light.
This is the best.
The raptor stands to greet me, walking around his desk and approaching swiftly. "They buzzed me from down below. Looks like you're in need of a Christmas miracle," the handsome prehistoric creature offers.
Now I'm just trying to envision dinosaur lips trying to articulate human speech.
Haven't you ever seen the third Jurassic Park movie?
Or Tammy and the T-Rex?
I haven't seen that, actually.
I haven't seen that either.
It's
Sounds made up.
it's Whoopi Goldberg's greatest hit movie.
Wait, wasn't Whoopi Goldberg in a completely different dinosaur movie where she was a cop?
That's Tammy and the
Yeah.
T-Rex. Oh, no, wait, that's not Tammy and the T-Rex. But that's
No,
the movie I'm thinking
that
of.
movie has Denise Richards in it. Denise Richards and Paul something, Paul Walker.
Oh, they were in Taming the T-Rex?
Tammy and the T-Rex.
Tammy
I don't
and
know.
the
I don't know
T-Rex.
what's going on.
We're discussing the finer dinosaur buddy films, apparently.
Sure.
Well, the T-Rex just kind of eats the people that took his brain, but it's a whole thing.
The 90s quasi sitcom dinosaurs also had dinosaurs with articulate humanoid mouths.
That's true as well. That was such a good show.
It
really
was.
Yeah.
Shit like that, I feel like, contributed to a lot of weird, confused adults decades later.
Do you mean in regards to like sexual fetishes?
No, just in regard to just being weird and confused.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I mean, partially that as well, but not exclusively.
Wasn't there like a baby dinosaur that's catchphrase was "not the baby" or something like that?
not the mama.
Yeah,
Not
and it
the
would
mama.
hit the dad dinosaur on the head with like a stew pot.
The dad's name was Earl, I think.
Yeah, it was. I haven't thought about the show Dinosaurs in, Jesus, probably at least a decade at this point.
All it takes is a sex book about a velociraptor.
Takes you right back to your childhood.
And real quick, I was also curious if there was a connection between childhood exposure to cartoons and so on, and then when you develop sexually and so on. There's no clear-cut connection. If there was, we would furries would be a majority in terms of like Disney movies.
That's fair. Like, I mean, that's in there. Like, that's bundled in for sure. But just generally being kind of alienated and confused. A lot of pop culture in the late 80s through the 90s was just kind of off in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I don't know if there was corporate weird then in a way that there's not corporate weird now, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Like the very peculiar era of Nickelodeon.
Right.
And even like Saturday morning cartoons of that time were like the Batman cartoon that got fairly dark at different points.
Yeah.
Or like Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah.
Or Aeon Flux or anything on Liquid Television.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, the head.
Yeah, the Max.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We're just dating ourselves at this point.
Oh yeah, we're just old people.
Yep.
Here's the thing
Back in
about
my day.
like why media, at least my opinion as to why media has changed and why there's a lot of throwback. The longer that any system in anything is in place, the more likely it is that there are people that have learned to gamify it. So in terms of media, as far as I can tell at least, those weren't copying or throwing back anything, but as media has progressed into this corporate awfulness, it's become more statistics of what are hits and what aren't. So it's less about expression or new ideas.
It was a little more the Wild West
Right.
during that time.
I mean, I think there's probably some truth to that. And, aside from everything sort of being focus grouped and custom created to appeal and, all of this knowledge about what is going to make the most appealing thing, you've also kind of got the entirety of culture now seems to be it's remix culture, it's
take the old thing and reconstruct it.
And just reboot everything, recreate everything. Like, it's not surprising to me at all that, Star Wars and Marvel Comics properties are the biggest things right now. Because kids grew up reading those. They grew up on Star Wars. They grew up reading Marvel Comics. And then they became our age and became executives in charge of movie studios.
Now, and real quick, I feel like this is an important hair to split. Reinventing something is not innately a bad thing. Remixing is not innately a bad thing.
One thing I personally love is mashups. Like music mashups, I think those are great. That's a brilliant thing to do, and people that do it well are impressive to me.
Like Klaus Larson?
I don't recall that name, no.
He was the lead singer and the programmer for Leatherstrip.
Oh, okay.
And he did a shit ton of remixes for bands and made their songs better.
Yeah. Most of the time, like, you can tell for certain if you saw Leatherstrip remix, it was going to be a pretty banging mix.
Yeah, it was going to be better than the original track.
And Neil Cicerega.
Oh, yeah, I know Neil Cicerega.
Mouth Moods, yeah, I love their stuff so much. We should read this sexy dinosaur Christmas book.
We were doing that.
Yeah, from now on, can you guys not call me Kane? Can you call me the manifestation or the manifested concept of rage?
That's really long to say.
Well, let's call you MCR, manifested concept of rage.
My Chemical Romance?
No,
tomato, 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
I just clicked on the Tingleverse role-playing game.
Yeah.
And the manifested concept of rage is a bad thing that people can cite.
Nice.
Sightings of the manifested concept of rage are becoming more and more frequent. I would like to be the manifested concept of rage.
We're going to have to play at least a game of the Tingleverse.
Yeah.
It might actually be unironically very fun.
I
kind of want David to run it because that seems like an energy that he could really dig into. Please continue.
They buzzed me from down below. Looks like you're in need of a Christmas miracle, the handsome prehistoric creature offers. He reaches out his clawed hand and gives me a firm shake. I'm Rudolph. Oh my God, I stammer, reeling as I realize just who I'm standing in the presence of. You're actually Rudolph. I thought it was just the name of your company or something. The dinosaur cracks a smile. Nope, it's me. From the old song, I clarify. Rudolph, the red-nosed raptor? That's the one, Rudolph continues. And you are? Turno Perps, I offer. That's a handsome name, the dinosaur replies.
I need to start saying that anytime someone tells me what their name is.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever heard handsome apply to something not visual, and I kind of like it.
Too.
I think we're going to start using that.
That's a handsome name. I think I'm just going to start using that completely out of context.
So, David, how was your day? That's a handsome
name. I suddenly remember that time is limited, struggling to collect myself. Oh yeah, I stammer, pulling out my boxes and handing them over to the holiday dinosaur. Sorry, I don't know why, but that's the part that broke me.
All right.
Look, it has to happen sooner or later.
Okay. I need to get these gifts to my parents in Los Angeles. By tomorrow? Rudolph questions, then offers me a playful wink. Why, that would take a Christmas miracle. So you can help me? I question. I just did, the antlered dinosaur replies. At first I'm confused, until I glance down and realize that the packages are now missing from his hands, disappearing without a trace. I glance around the room, peering around the nearby couch to see if I can spot one of the boxes. Where are they? I question. I just told you, Rudolph replies.
They're in my butt.
They're waiting under your parents' tree in Los Angeles. I stare at him in shock. Holy shit, I blurt. I knew you were good at getting through snowstorms, but that was incredible. I didn't even notice you leaving. Nobody ever does, Rudolph continues. That's the nature of time travel. Time travel? I question.
Repeating everything I say.
What is this, an anime?
The handsome dinosaur nods. People always assume that me and Santa get all the presents delivered because we're fast, but it actually has nothing to do with that. In fact, we're working most of the year, which is why I set up this Chicago office while he's up in Alaska. You see, when you can travel through time, delivering presents is easy. It just takes a lot of work.
That's the definition of being fast!
I mean, technically everyone can travel through time.
Yeah.
We're all doing it
at the speed of regular time.
At the
Yeah.
speed of time, yes.
Yeah, but as you get closer to the speed of light, like, time distorts. So if you're time traveling, then you're traveling beyond the speed of light.
Maybe they're also using the magic time from Santa Steps Out.
Look, this science doesn't check out in this
This,
romantic...
I mean, honestly, this makes sense to me because in Santa Steps Out, Rudolph wasn't there.
Yeah,
it was Lucifer.
Was the yeah.
And so obviously there was some sort of a break, and Rudolph was replaced by Lucifer as a shiny antlered reindeer.
Sure.
And Rudolph, who was never a reindeer at all, but actually anthropomorphic.
Yeah,
antlered
we
raptor.
were all just mistaken. You've all been confused.
He's moved to Chicago and set up a branch office, and so he's just using magic.
Yeah, that makes sense. I buy that. Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
You know, Rudolph got a promotion, so you know, gotta get Lucifer, as you do.
I'm kind of concerned that we might have just made the weird Christmas erotica shared universe.
I'm okay.
Worried
I'm
about
okay
that?
with that. I think if we leave no other mark on this timeline, the erotic Christmas expanded universe is enough for me.
Oh my god, what if Chuck Tingle listens to this podcast and then he talks to the author of Santa Steps Out and then they actually make a co-op project?
Chuck, Rob,
please,
guys,
do it to it.
Please, just you don't even have to write anything. Just send out a tweet that says, "Yeah, those are totally in the same universe," and then we can all walk away with a smile on our faces.
That's the Christmas miracle I want most of all.
Sames.
So you go back in time to make sure all the gifts get there on Christmas Eve? I question. Rudolph nods. Most of our deliveries take place over the summer, actually. Then we jump forward to Christmas Eve once we've arrived at the house. After that, we jump back. It sounds complicated, but honestly, it's not that difficult to figure out once you get the hang of
Jump
it.
back
Yeah,
now,
time
y'all.
travel, that's not complicated.
Nah, simple. Simple hopscotching through time.
As you do.
I don't even know what to say, shaking my head side to side in astonishment. Anyway, that's the last of them, offers Rudolph, heading for the doorway. I'm done for the year. I can't believe this clearly wealthy dinosaur is willing to just leave me here all alone in his expensive penthouse office. But then I realize he'd know in the future if I stole anything and just come back to stop me. Hey, I shout, prompting the handsome raptor to pause and turn around once more. My mind is suddenly racing, trying to understand what it is that compelled me to reach out and stop Rudolph. I can now admit to myself that I'm incredibly attracted to him, blown away by the creature's playful intelligence, sculpted body, and time-traveling abilities.
Have you
What are
ever
you
had
doing?
a time-traveling orgasm?
All of them.
Yeah.
No. It's when you climax before you start fucking. It's a really, really erotic experience.
That's like super premature
Yeah.
ejaculation. Wow.
Yeah, but it's very important that you actually do the fucking afterwards. Otherwise, it doesn't happen in the past.
Oh, and you create a paradox,
Right.
and then time and space is
Yeah.
ripped apart, and it was also you could nut. Are you proud of yourself?
I'm leaving. I don't want to fucking be here.
You
anymore.
love being here. It is your favorite thing.
You know, we could go back to reading stuff like Trigger Warning.
Ugh. We can't ever go back to trigger warning.
Hey,
Please,
at
no.
least
It's
Rudolph
Chinatown.
isn't a large man.
It's true.
I mean, he's definitely muscular.
Yeah.
They didn't say tall.
Yeah,
I'm taking it.
We haven't had a book in a while that's had a big man.
I mean, Santa was girthy.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But like just the whole using big as
Right.
the fullness of your descriptor of a person.
Yeah, we may have broken the big man streak.
Or the joke just isn't funny anymore.
It's probably not that. It's probably not that.
But when
That's
has that
right.
ever stopped us
Yeah.
before?
Is anything we do funny by anyone's definition?
I'm sure we amuse ourselves.
Sometimes.
What are you doing now that your work is finished? I question. I've got a cabin just outside of the city, he explains, grabbing his coat and putting it on. I'm gonna go settle in for a while. The two of us pause, just staring at one another as the tension builds. You want to come? Raptor finally asks. I crack a smile. I'd love that. The next thing I know, we're heading over to a staircase that leads up to the roof. I wrap my coat tightly around me and then push out into the cold, following Rudolph over to a large wood sleigh that's been parked at the center of a snow-covered helicopter pad.
Now, if Rudolph's sleigh is pulled by a bunch of mall Santas,
That
would be pretty awesome.
fucking fantastic. I hope that's the case.
As long as they're naked.
How would you know they're Santas? I guess the hats and the boots?
The hat and the beard.
Yeah, and the beard.
Maybe even the big buckly belt.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like their harnesses would double as BDSM gear too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's... Yeah.
I don't feel like that's a giant leap.
Not if you're into horseplay. Pony play, I guess. Is this safe? I call out, my voice barely audible over the howling wind that twists and turns around us. The Raptor laughs. Did you forget who you were talking to? His red nose shining more brilliant than even, is what it says here. His red nose shining more brilliant than even. The handsome dinosaur climbs into the driver's seat as I slide in next to him. The next thing I know, our sleigh is rising up from the ground, levitating into the air as the white flakes crumble away. And we're off, cries Rudolph. Suddenly, my prehistoric companion and me are zooming over the snow-covered city below.
Now, it's very important to know that this sleigh is powered by blowjobs.
Twisting and turning above the Chicago skyline as we make our way out of town. The ride is smooth, but I still can't help being frightened by the sheer height of our journey. I nuzzle up against the handsome Raptor, who then returns the favor by putting one of his muscular arms around me, pulling me close. It's not long before our sleigh is drifting lower and lower to the ground, eventually coming in for a soft landing, a small clearing that's surrounded by enormous, white-capped pine trees. Christmas lights are dangling everywhere, casting our approach in rainbow-colored brilliance. There in the middle of the clearing is the cozy cabin that Rudolph had mentioned, smoke already billowing out from the chimney. Is someone home? I question. The Raptor shakes his head. I jumped ahead in time to get things ready for us. Oh, wow, is all that I can manage to retort. Every passing second finds me growing more and more attracted to this legendary Christmas dinosaur. He's the whole package, that's for sure.
Package.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What's this guy's name again? Turno? Let's just call him T.
Turno Perps.
That was it. So T's very, he wasn't even shocked or surprised or anything by the dinosaur. Presumably the dinosaur head. I don't know if it's if it's full anthropomorphic
based on
or not.
Look at the cover of the book. I linked it in the chat earlier.
Oh,
it'll give you a pretty good visual of the Raptor.
Okay. So this guy was not shocked by the dinosaur head, which implies that it's common or not out of the ordinary. So this is an interesting universe we're
maybe it's
getting into.
Like the BoJack universe?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
BoJack Horseman.
Yeah.
The two of us trudge up the front walk through the snow, arriving at the cabin door and then pushing through to reveal a set of large, overstuffed chairs and a roaring fireplace. Here we are, Rudolph announces, closing the door behind him. The second this handsome dinosaur turns around, I'm already upon him, kissing the Raptor passionately as I tear his coat up over his head.
Fuck yeah,
His clothes catch on his antlers a bit, but eventually they find a way over.
If I had antlers, I think I would only wear shirts with buttons.
Yeah, definitely.
If I had antlers, there would definitely be more dead people.
That's fair.
If I had antlers, I would never wear a hat. Or three of them.
Yeah, I was actually about to say, or wear a lot of hats.
And you also think about clearing doorways.
Yeah, you'd have to go through sideways.
Oh, that's why the ceiling was high in his office.
Yeah. I mean, that and it was just a nice office. It makes sense that it would have had a high ceiling regardless.
I toss the fabric to one side as I continue with my barrage of kisses, allowing my hand to fully explore the chiseled topography of his scaly green body. Okay, so he is scaled.
He is scaly, yeah.
Well, it may just be like on the cover, like the guy has green skin, so it may just be like person, but a person with scaled.
I think Doctor Tingle does the photoshops for the cover himself.
Excellent.
And he may not have had the skill set to put scales on to the body.
Yeah, so more like a lizard person.
Sure.
Like a anthropomorphic dinosaur, but with a dinosaur
head Rudolph's a reptilian.
And antlers. Wow, that's all right.
Yep.
I got this picture now.
Yeah.
I want you so bad, I groan. I need you to fuck me. Rudolph smiles and begins to kiss me back with an equal helping of passion. I know that this is
the kind of book that it is, but it would have been hilarious to me if Rudolph had been like, whoa, dude, I don't know you like that. Let's like have a conversation first, and then we'll see.
Yeah, why don't we go on a date?
At least buy me a Coke.
Joe, Rudolph is a fourth-dimensional being. They've already had all these conversations.
That's true. Rudolph smiles, then begins to kiss me back with an equal helping of passion. The two of us are frantically tearing away one another's clothing now, continuing until we reach our underwear. I begin to run my fingers delicately back and forth across the band of the dinosaur's red and white boxer briefs, then finally make my move and plunge my hand down within. I wrap my fingers tight around the prehistoric beast's aching rod, watching as a long, satisfied moan escapes his lips.
Now, is this a raptor dick? Or just a scaly human dick?
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, the more I read here, the more I'm starting to think that this is just like a velociraptor with antlers. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, no, the cover clearly
you can't judge
has
a
like
book by its
humanoid.
cover, Chris.
Womp, 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 womp.
I'm gonna go drink cyanide now.
Also, I wonder, is he, I guess if he is a humanoid velociraptor hybrid thing, like a velocitar minnoraptor, then whatever, it probably doesn't matter. But if he's an actual dinosaur, then is he actually a velociraptor? Or is he a Jurassic Park style velociraptor, which is more of a Utah raptor? Because velociraptors were only like the size of a chicken.
Right.
Or a turkey.
I don't think that Rudolph is turkey sized.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to embrace and kiss easily.
I mean, that probably would have come up.
Yeah.
I wrap my fingers tight around the prehistoric beast's aching rod, watching as a long, satisfied moan escapes his lips. Not wasting any time, I begin to pump my hand up and down his length in slow, sensual movements, enjoying the way that Rudolph pumps his hips along with me.
So is Rudolph uncut or cut, do you think?
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. If not, then you can just kind of use your own imagination.
I imagine hand jobs would be much harder if you're uncut.
I can't really speak to that. I'm not sure.
I don't see why.
It seems like it.
I mean, admittedly, my experience with jerking other people off is limited, but
because you just have a nice, smooth surface to move on. If anything, it might be more efficient.
Well, I'm glad we went this direction.
But here's a public service announcement. Don't snip your kids.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely take a moment to say, let's stop the barbaric practice of genital mutilation, regardless of gender.
Sure.
Yep.
You can get it, if the kid doesn't like it, he can get it removed later on, but you can't put it back on.
Yeah.
Mad with lust, I drop down to my knees before the muscular raptor, pulling his shorts off and gasping aloud as his enormous cock juts out toward my face. The creature is utterly enormous, his swollen dick impressive in size and texture. While I'd expected a bright green dinosaur dick, I'm greeted instead by a rod that is striped exactly like a candy cane, red and white.
Sure, why not?
Looks delicious, I offer. Terrible. Just, oh my god, Yukon Cornelius.
Does it curve like a
peppermint
candy cane?
Now we know what he was licking off of his axe.
Yep.
Looks delicious, I offer, gazing up at Rudolph with a smile and then opening wide to take his member. Immediately, the delicious flavor of peppermint fills my mouth. I begin to pump my face up and down across the creature's length, taking my time with him as I reach up and cradle his hanging balls. Are they also candy striped, or are they
the
like
same thing?
Christmas tree ornaments?
Yeah, that's what they are.
All right.
And they're also frosted too.
Eventually, I pick up speed, belligerently slamming my face down onto the Christmas legend over and over again as he moans above.
Do you think anyone's ever gotten a broken nose giving a blowjob?
Soon enough, I decide to take things to the next level, pushing my face onto his enormous cock and refusing to let up. Instead of pulling back, I continue onward, taking the dinosaur's shaft deeper and deeper until I swallow him completely. Rudolph's rod is now fully planted within my neck, resting well past the expected limits of my gag reflex.
I like when we make David read smut.
I
do too?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
I gaze up at the holiday dinosaur from this position of submission, smiling with my eyes as my face presses hard against his immaculate abs.
It sounds like a Nine Inch Nails song.
Position of submission?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to hear an industrial song with these lyrics.
I mean, we have you reading them.
It's true.
I can open up Fruity Loops right now.
Is there like a gay death metal band and all they sing about is gay sex?
There almost certainly has to be.
There's no way.
Statistically, there
can't
has to
at least be one.
Yeah.
I gaze up at the holiday dinosaur from this position of submission, smiling with my eyes as my face presses hard against his immaculate abs. Rudolph places his hands against the back of my head and holds me like this, taking control as I submit myself to him fully.
So he is a Raptor he's built like a Minotaur.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about like abs and like the way that this anatomy is being described.
Yeah, definitely like anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
Just scaly with a candy cane dick.
Yup.
Yeah, sure. And antlers.
And
on a raptor head.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And a glowing nose.
Yup.
Okay, I got that visual now.
Yeah, take a minute, listeners, and fix that in your head for what's about to happen.
We stay in this position for as long as I can possibly muster, then finally pull back with a gasp and a shower of spit. A long strand of glistening saliva now hangs between my wet lips and the head of the dinosaur's cock. Fuck me, I demand. I need some of that Christmas cheer up my tight, gay butthole. I think I'll have no problem guiding my cock exactly where it needs to go, Rudolph replies, his nose twinkling brilliantly.
I was expecting some kind of, come down my
this
chimney.
Is very silly.
Like wordplay.
It's very silly, yeah.
Yeah.
I pull off my underwear and then climb up onto the nearby couch, turning around and popping my bare ass out towards the handsome prehistoric reptile. I brace myself on the hard back of the furniture, wiggling my rump from side to side as the raptor approaches from behind. Rudolph aligns his enormous candy cane-striped shaft with my tightness, teasing my anal seal for a moment, and then finally thrusting forward in one long, confident swoop. Oh, fuck, I cry out, gripping tightly to the back of the couch as Rudolph slides deep within me. While I'd had little problem taking his girthy cock between my lips, this dinosaur's member up my ass is a different story entirely.
Okay, so he said my gay butt, so he is... So this is not like a first experience for him.
No. I think just Rudolph's business is so massive that it's
one big candy cane. It's like those, the big ones that you could get at Christmas that were like a foot long.
Would that burn?
I
don't think it's actually made out of peppermint, Chris.
Candy cane into any bodily orifice.
Don't do
aside
that.
from your mouth.
Yeah.
There would be some discomfort, yeah.
There would be problems. There's a lot of sugar there. That should not go inside of your orifice.
Yeah,
so no one do that.
Yeah, definitely.
But if you do send pics to our podcast.
Please don't send me that.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, no. Chris, we'll put a special link on the website so that people can send you your Second Life creepypasta, all right?
When you said that, I was imagining myself in like a police interrogation room, and a guy in a suit comes in and sits down and he's like, all right.
Like a crocodile suit or like a bunny suit? Like, what are you imagining?
No, like a business suit.
Oh,
A guy,
I misunderstood.
a guy in a business suit comes in, he sits down and puts like a folder in front on a table between us, and he says, "I know about your second life creepiness." I don't know why. That tickles.
Well, whatever floats your boat there, man.
Rudolph's raptor cock does not tickle.
It's
David,
not
continue.
a raptor cock, because he referenced a head, and as far as I know, reptiles don't have glands.
Yeah, I think he has humanoid genitals.
Also balls, and reptiles have internal testes.
And yeah.
But technically, raptors wouldn't have been reptiles necessarily. I mean, they're dinosaurs, so they're kind of closer to avians. And
really?
Yeah.
That's even weirder and less likely, because, like, bird dicks are...
They don't have...
I don't think this book gives a shit about anatomy.
Yeah, no.
Wieners. I think they just mash their thingies together.
Don't they have aren't they just all cloaca?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. If we have any ornithologists or paleontologists listeners, please educate us.
Yes, please tell us. Sound off in the comments.
Ordinarily, it's annoying when you actually
genitals.
us in the comments section. But yeah, if you have insight into bird genitals, go ahead and let us know. Or dinosaur genitals, specifically.
No. I feel completely maxed out, my butthole stretched to the brink. Fortunately, Rudolph is a patient lover, taking his time with me and allowing my body a moment to adjust to his size. That's nice. Yeah. That's good. That's important.
Depends on what you want out of your partner.
Consent in all things, and if you're going up the butthole,
yeah, I mean, just because of anatomical limitations, yeah, I think you kind of want to take your time there.
The handsome dinosaur moves slowly at first, gradually gaining speed until the two of us fall into a rhythm together. Soon enough, my legendary Christmas lover and me have fallen into a pleasant groove together, any discomfort melting away as it's replaced by a powerful, aching warmth. The sensation starts off in the pit of my stomach, and then slowly begins to make its way down my arms and legs, filling my body with a buzzing holiday excitement. I notice now that a faint jingle rings out every time Rudolph slams his hips against my rump, his balls rattling like sleigh bells as they fill the cabin around us with Christmas cheer.
That sounds annoying.
God, can you imagine going for a walk with Rudolph? You just hear this cling, 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 cling.
Do you think that you can't hear Rudolph's balls jingling once you stop believing in the magic of Christmas?
That explains what I hear each night. Faster and faster the balls begin to sound as Rudolph slams against me, the pleasure growing as it passes back and forth between us in an ever-escalating feedback loop. Oh my fucking God! Oh my fucking God! I start to repeat, words falling out of my mouth over and over again in a blissful mantra. I'm utterly beside myself with pleasure, my body trembling hard as the handsome dinosaur continues to slam up into me. Oh my fucking God!
Read it sexier, David.
Oh my fucking God! Because really,
David,
you sound like an idiot when you're trying to be sexy.
David.
And you sound like an idiot when you're actually having sex. So,
David.
Yes?
Hold my beer.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, we're good.
No, do it. No, I want this.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate. I reach down between my legs and grab a hold of my hanging cock, beating myself off in time with the movements of Rudolph's dick.
You know, of all the euphemisms for that, beating off, that's real sexy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, it's the limitations of erotic language. You know, it's like we talked about last week.
Yeah, I mean, there are challenges to that, and I think it's probably a lot like, you know, if you are actually never stop and think about what you're saying when you're having sex.
No.
It just takes you completely out of it.
Now, this is something that I need to know for when I find a sex.
Yeah. Yes. When you do find a sex, just
live in the moment.
Live in the moment. Yeah. That's important. I reach down between my legs and grab a hold of my hanging cock, beating myself off in time with the movements of Rudolph's dick. We quickly fall into a nice polyrhythm together, the erotic sensations now blossoming within me from two distinct locations. I feel as though I've just about reached my limit, ready to come at any moment when the handsome dinosaur abruptly pulls out of me. Hey, I blurt. I was so close. It's the holiday season, Rudolph explains. Let's try something special. A wry grin creeps its way across my face. Okay, I coo, gazing back over my shoulder at the handsome dinosaur. Rudolph immediately climbs down into position behind me, lowering himself until he's practically kneeling on the carpet. His antlers are now positioned directly behind my rump, and I soon realize what's going on when one of the enormous horns begins to push up against my asshole.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah,
that's high
that's
risk.
a lot. You just met this reindeer dinosaur.
Like
You're a very trusting person, Turno.
The only way that this might not go bad is if Rudolph lets T take hold of the horn and control the movements.
I mean, he's a magical Christmas dinosaur. Like, give him some credit.
He's been at this for a while, I assume. As unusual as this is, I don't pull away. Right now, I'm happy to dive in fully for whatever holiday adventures Rudolph has to offer, including an antler in the butt. You like that? The handsome dinosaur questions, teasing me.
Yes.
I love it, I gush. Do you want it nice or naughty? Rudolph continues.
That's a loaded question.
Naughty. Yeah. Naughty, I tell him confidently. Rudolph pushes forward and impales my ass across his giant horn, the antler filling my butthole as a long, satisfied groan escapes my lips. His horn is not quite as big as his cock, but there seems to be a strange Christmas magic coursing through it, while my body floods with the glorious sensation of a perfectly massaged prostate. My mind fills with a cascade of warm holiday visions. I see presents wrapped with a bow, and I smell the overpowering scent of baking gingerbread. It's kind of like the exact opposite of the experience that Frank had when he summoned the Cenobites.
Yeah. That's a really interesting point, David.
Yeah, this is a much better spiritual place to get into. Like you have two options. You can go with the Cenobites or sexy Raptor Rudolph.
I'm taking sexy Raptor
Any
Rudolph.
day of the week, yeah.
Well, can't we have sexy Raptor Cenobite Rudolph?
I hope so. Jesus Christ, you've unlocked things I didn't even know I wanted.
If Rudolph has a fall from grace, yes, but outside of that,
Would he have jingle bells just attached to him everywhere?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Maybe wrapped in Christmas lights.
Like chains of tinsel.
No. You guys are thinking in the wrong dimension. Like a Rudolph's realm of pain would just be you sitting in line for 10 hours at a supermarket trying to buy Christmas presents.
Yeah, that's if he was trying to torment you. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping that we get out of this the Christmas magic. I see presents wrapped with a bow, and I smell the overpowering scent of baking gingerbread. Rudolph begins to pump in and out of me once more with his antlers, quickly falling into the same rhythm that we'd found before.
This is how you get a neck injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does seem real hard on the spinal cord, what he's doing.
It's like those, have you guys ever seen the, dildo masks?
Yeah.
Where it's, in the forehead or the mouth or whatever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I feel like one of those is just a real good way to get a broken neck.
I don't disagree.
Some people are into that.
A broken neck?
I don't think anyone's into that.
Only once.
Yeah. Trust me, it's a thing.
I don't doubt it, and I'm not here to kink shame anyone, but...
You get one of those.
Yeah, you get one. Make it worth it.
Yep.
Now I can feel the sensations of an impending orgasm blossoming up within me yet again, filling my body with a potent energy that's just waiting to erupt. I'm quaking hard, every muscle within me pulled tight and begging for release until finally I throw back my head and let out a frantic scream. The climax tears through me like a powerful wave, jizz erupting hard from the head of my shaft and hot white ropes that splatter down onto the cushions below. Meanwhile, Rudolph continues to hammer away at my butthole with his antler, never letting up for a second until all of the cum has been drained from my balls. As soon as I finish, I can feel the handsome dinosaur pull out of me. I turn around and drop to my knees before him, reaching up to frantically beat off his red and white shaft. The raptor only needs a few pumps before he throws his head back and lets out a long, satisfied howl. Spunk erupting from the head of his cock, and splattering out across my smiling face below. I open wide to catch as much of the cum as I can, swallowing its peppermint-flavored seed and then going back for more.
Really?
Eventually...
Like, his wiener tastes like peppermint and so does his sperm? I thought there'd be more variants.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed it wasn't like gingerbread
Yeah.
sperm. Eventually, Rudolph finishes and then staggers back, collapsing into the second couch that's directly across from us. I stand up and walk over, falling into the cushions next to him as I struggle to catch my breath. That was amazing, I gush. Are you ready for an eternity of it? The dinosaur replies with a smile. I nuzzle in close, enjoying the warmth of my new lover just as much as the warmth of our roaring fire. Don't get too cozy, Rudolph informs me. I've got to leave in a few minutes.
That eternity thing, that was just bullshit.
Why, I question. To meet you at my office. If I'm not there when you drop off your presents, then we won't fall in love, he explains. I narrow my eyes. Wait, what? I need to go back in time and start the loop over, Rudolph explains. Fair enough, I reply. I'm not sure how this time travel thing works, but I trust you. You're gonna come with, he continues. I'll drop you off in the snow so you can come find me at my office. Wait a minute, I stammer. How many times have we done this before?
That's the wrong question.
An infinite
At what point
amount of
does
times,
this not become
Rudolph
horrifying?
explains.
Yeah,
That's kind of the way time loops
Yeah.
work.
yeah. When he said, "Are you ready for an eternity of it?" I was already horrified. Eternity of anything sounds terrible.
Right. Just being stuck in that loop forever.
And you're still not finished watching The Sound of Music. And we're not bored, I question? We forget every time, and I only start remembering once we get to the cabin, Rudolph explains. Otherwise, we'd both go crazy. I guess you've got your answer then, I tell him with a laugh.
Oh my god, Rudolph is
wins.
a Cenobite.
I think, yeah.
All right, I'm fucking done, guys. I'm done.
See
done.
you soon.
The fucking time traveling Rudolph the Red-Nosed Raptor.
Cenobite.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Suddenly, I'm rushing through the snowy streets of Chicago, 2 packages under my arm, and we're done.
Huh.
So this is the first time that we've finished an entire book.
Yeah, I mean, this was only like 15 pages.
That was
All right,
some
I'm glad we're done.
Twilight Zone shit. That's how Twilight Zone episodes end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Tingle includes some cosmic horror in, as a common theme.
I can see that, yeah.
All right.
I mean, is it really? I mean, it's still consensual. They forget until they get to the cabin. Sure, Rudolph remembers, but Turno is forgetting this entire thing. So every time he was clearly the initiator.
Right. Yeah.
So
here's the problem, though.
Is it horrific?
Yes,
like
because
if he decided not to go with him to restart
okay,
the
look,
loop,
Does
he
it
wouldn't have to.
restart his body as well, though?
Yeah, because
Like,
he's
does
gonna
his
get
body
old.
return?
Yeah, is he aging in real time?
Not only that, but like he's just disappeared from the main timeline without
Also
a trace.
that.
Like no one knows where he is. There's no
I'm less
dead body.
concerned with that and more concerned about the integrity of his O-ring.
Well, that I assume snaps back after when the loop resets.
We got a lot of questions, Tingle.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm gonna tweet him about this.
Yep.
Good. That's important.
Because T may forget, but does his Bussy forget?
Well, I mean, assuming they're not doing this just literally as an ongoing forever.
That's what he said,
Just
though.
Yeah, I
He
feel
said-
like that's the implication, is that they're just going to be in this time
So-
loop until forever.
They fuck, and then he goes back out into the snow, stumbles into the building, and meets Rudolph.
And then they fuck.
They go fuck.
Mhm.
And then immediately they go back to square one. There's never any hanging out and just, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm
Having hot cocoa, massaging each other's feet.
Well, we can't know because T forgets.
yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They may very well take time for his O-ring, his asshole to recover if it starts to chafe or things are
And
a problem.
I do feel like Rudolph seems like a very sensitive lover. I feel like he would be concerned about aftercare.
I would think so, yeah.
I mean, could be
so.
a ruse.
You know what, Joe? Can you just talk? Let's end this episode.
Kane's very uncomfortable.
I think so. Do we have anything else that we want to add before I do the promo at the end?
I'm just really glad we were able to double stuff our listeners' stockings.
I agree.
Also,
God, I hate you all.
I'm not very well read, but this was engaging writing, in terms of Tingle's actual writing skill.
Yeah. This was on the higher end of things that we've read.
Also,
I think
this was like 15 pages. I don't know how long Chuck Tingle's stuff typically is, but it feels to me like this is the right sort of length for something like this.
I agree, yeah.
It's just a little taste of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to achieve your goal in the shortest amount of effort, that's a skill.
Yeah, like his use of language was very efficient.
And there are some typos and some things that I don't know if they're stylistically on purpose or if it's just it's hard to say, because with someone like Chuck Tingle, he is very, very sincere, but also it seems like he's very clearly like winking at people. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay. I mean this stuff, but also, come on, guys. No one's taking this seriously, right?
Yeah.
He either is winking at the audience or he's 100% out of his bonkers crazy.
What does out of his bonkers mean?
I like it.
It's like crazy, but crazier.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am thrilled, however, that in this edition of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Butt Raptor from two-time Hugo Award finalist Chuck Tingle,
which I
now own. Thank you. There is also a second story, Seduced by Dr. Bigfoot, Attorney at Large.
Okay.
So that'll be fun for me to read later.
Yeah.
Here's what I think we should do. We should
sign off.
Kiss.
Well, that too. We should install a panic button for if we have like too many taxing episodes in a row, we can slam that panic button and it'll bring out a Chuck Tingle book and then we can read it and we'll recover.
I try to take that into consideration when I choose the episodes, to not have back to back. Like I throw fun ones in every now and then for that reason.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
congratulations, Joe.
That Tingle is a resource.
You're benevolent.
I agree. And we're definitely coming back to Chuck Tingle because I would like to read more of his stuff.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Whatever. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the YouTube bell. If you want to support us on Patreon or check out our fun Discord server, you can go to WeGiveYouBrainworms.com. Did I just Freudian slip say .com? Did we else hear that?
A little, but I was going to
I didn't hear anything.
Whatever you do or don't celebrate this time of year, I hope that it's going well for you. Thank you for listening.
Humbug.
And I'm going to speak for all of us here. This time, I'm not sorry.
No, I'm pretty proud of
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right, I finished my upload. I'm jumping in the furnace. Fuck you guys.
I'm going to push the button.
This has been a production of Brainworms Presents. Any copyright content contained within is used for purposes of review. Brainworms Podcast is David Combs, Kane Magdalene, Christian Schaefer, and Joseph Wells. The theme music is Hodgepodge No. 1 by Brian Davis. If you like what you heard, you can support us and learn about our other projects at WeGiveYouBrainworms.com or by leaving a review on your favorite listening app.
Bigfoot pirates haunt my balls!